الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله قال الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار ثم أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, for today's khutbah, I just want you to ponder upon one question. What is the biggest asset for us in this life? And inshallah, we will try to ponder upon doing this khutbah, and we will have the answer, inshallah. What is the biggest asset that we have in this life? When the calamity is struck, often we see, and this is the reason I chose this topic for today's khutbah. I was in a gathering recently, and it was said, it was made a question, and the presence, all of them were Muslims there. So that kind of makes me wonder. The question was that whenever we see around the world, the Muslims are in trouble and they are being subjected to these all kind of calamities. Why is this that the Muslims around the world are suffering? So when we look, yes, they are some of the Muslims, but there are others who are being inflicted as well. But being a Muslim, when we question these kind of things, when those questions come to our mind, we need to think, we need to rethink where we are. Because when the calamity hits, people lose their faith. And they lose their balance and start complaining and showing their displeasure, especially in tough times. And that's where one starts questioning the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the very creator, who is the Khaliq, who is the Malik, who is sustainer of everything. And why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do this to us? If He loves us and created me and He is the Malik, how come He is the one is not taking care of me? What kind of Ar-Rahman He is, who is putting me through this? Why me? When that happens, they remember, our friends. All my fellow Muslims. That is the time to check our Iman meter. Is it where it should be? Or is it on the decline? They say whenever we can maintain their Iman during the calamity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yahdi qalbah. He will bless that person with the gift, the guidance to his heart. And what kind of gift is that? There is nothing more valuable in this world than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance. And He is telling us, you go through the hardship and you maintain the strength of Iman, then you will be given your real Iman and real faith inside of your heart. And it won't be something that you just say on your tongue. It will guide you right from the inside. When it is guided from the inside, from our heart, whatever comes on our tongue, whatever actions we have, they are guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we put our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything comes in our life and we take it as it happens, that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, it's easier for us when we see all of those kind of disasters happening around the world. And in particular, when we hear about the news of those floods that are happening in Pakistan, the very country I was born and raised in. The heart hurts, it aches. When we see in the news that 1/3 of the land is underwater, it is hard for us to imagine because for us it is just the news. The ones who are going through that, the condition of their thinking, what they are going through, and why they are going through. The ones, the kafir, who did kufr, and by kafir I mean farmer, because the word kafir is used for farmer, and kufr is the seed that he buries in the ground deep. And then he nurtures that with water and hope and praise, because this is his livelihood. And they want that crop to come up. And they want this crop to come up so that it can be sustenance for them and for their family for the rest of the year. And sometimes it takes months and months for that crops to be those crops to be ready, so that they can bear the fruit of that. And then this kind of disaster starts. As you see from the satellite images that are shared in the news, the heart hurts because all of that land, all of those crops that somebody who put a lot of work in, it's like a mudslide. The land is flat. Look at the houses, they are flowing through in the flood water, washing away the very tall buildings, the one hopes that can be passed on to generations. But when those kind of calamities come, because the force with which that water comes takes everything in its path. Whatever is in the path is taken away. So yes, they are suffering, and their suffering is real, and it cannot be imagined by us because it's just the news for us. We can make dua, we can do something, and we must to help in any way, shape, and form possible within our abilities. And the least we can do is to make dua for them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them and take them out of that situation. And this is not a temporary situation. The way those disasters happening, it's a long-term effect, and they're going to need a long-term solution for that. So in doing so, when we take guidance from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we look, and especially in Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah 83 to 90, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us about three very dear individuals to him, the very prophets that were sent down, and he makes mention of them. First one is Ayub alayhi salam. Wa Ayuba is nada rabbahu inni masanni ad-durru wa anta arhamur rahimin. And remember when Job cried out to his Lord, I have been touched with adversity and you are the most merciful. What is the story of Ayub alayhi salam? Ayub alayhi salam was a very rich person. He had many farms, cattle, and everything. All the provisions that one can imagine of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given to him. He had many sons and family and everything, and he was living the life. And then scholar says, at the age of around 70, he was struck with the skin disease. It was so severe that according to scholars, none of his limbs were spared from that other than his tongue and his heart. What was the consequence of that? His family left him. He was left with nothing. The very people he was living among, they told him to leave the area because they thought it will be a plague and we will be affected by that. The only person that remained with him was his wife, and nothing else was left. But did he give up hope? Some scholars say the duration, there is a difference. It was from 3 years to 18 years when he was struck with that disease. But instead of complaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he turns and he says, Inni masanni ad-durru wa anta arhamur rahimin. That I have been struck with a calamity, but you are the arhamur rahimin. Who should I turn to? You are the one who will remove this calamity from you. You are the one who will remove that disease from me. And he makes the dua, and he makes the dua, and he makes the dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears it, and he removes his disease and blesses him, as it is said in the next ayah, وَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ فَكَشَفْنَا مَا بِهِ مِنْ دُرٍّ وَآتَيْنَاهُ أَهْلَهُ وَمِثْلَهُ مَعَهُمْ رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا ذِكْرَى لِلْعَابِدِينَ. So we answered his prayer and removed his adversity and gave him back his family, twice as many, and as a mercy from us and a lesson from the devoted worshippers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we turned to him with the faith and iman, he returned it twice as much and blessed him even more than what he had before. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the next, وَأَدْخَلْنَهُمْ فِي رَحْمَةٍ إِنَّهُمْ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ وَإِسْمَعِيلَ وَإِدْرِيسَ وَذَا الْكِفْلِ كُلٌّ مِنَ الصَّابِرِينَ. And remember, Ismail, Enoch, and Zulkifl, they were all steadfast. We admitted them into our mercy, for they were truly of the righteous. وَذَنُّونَ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مغاضبا فظن أن لن نقدر عليه فنادى في الظلمات أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين فاستجبنا له ونجيناه من الغم وكذلك ننجي المؤمنين. Second mention is of Yunus alayhi salam, and we all know the story. He was he lost hope with his people, the very people he was preaching. He was inviting them towards Tawheed. On the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he lost his hope. He said, these people are now never going to listen. They are not going to change. And he started to leave. And the only mistake he made in that, he didn't wait for the permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he left. But the people, very people that he left, the nation Nanwa, that he was preaching, as he left, as he was leaving, their hearts turned. They realized their mistake. They turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they accepted. And they were looking for, where is our prophet? And he was gone already. He left through the sea. And scholars say his ship was hit by waves, large waves, and he was swallowed by a large fish, but he realized his mistake. He realizes his mistake while he was sitting in the darkness, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in here. Fanada fi zulumat, while he was sitting in the darkness in the stomach of that very large fish. But he's calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illa anta subhanak. Inni kuntu minaz zalimin. You are the exalted one. I am the one who did zulm on myself. Forgive me. So we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave him. But those were the favored people. Those were the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the mention of Zakaria is nada rabbuhu rabbi la tazarni fardan wa anta khairul warisin fastajabna lahu wa wahabna lahu yahya wa aslahna lahu zawja innahum kana yusari'una fil khairat wa yad'unana raghaban wa rahban wa kanu lana khashi'in. It's the mention of Zakaria alayhi salam. We know that he was a pious person, the very one who was taking care of Maryam alayhi salam. And he used to go into her mihrab and see there are all kinds of provisions. Scholars say that she will have the winter fruits in summer and summer fruits in winter. And when he asked Zakaria alayhi salam to Maryam alayhi salam where all of these fruits are coming from, she said, it's coming from the very one who created you and me. So he was inspired by that. He was at old age. He didn't have anybody, not son or daughter. So he realized that if I can turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask, He will give. And with that iman, when he turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when he made that dua, and when he wished for it, the very woman who was barren, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that age gave her the tawfiq that she gave birth to one of the sons, the Yahya alayhi salam, who was himself was a prophet, was a pious person. So it is not just us in today's world that we are being hit by these kind of tests. For the believer, whenever there is calamity, it is a test. And this life is a test. And we should make this realization as each and every one of us does. The life for a believer doesn't end here. This is a temporary life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us about that. We live whatever year, however many years He has ordained for us. Not a minute before, not a minute less, not even a second or millisecond less than that. Whatever He has ordained for us. And it is a certainty that all of us will face that moment of death. But the life for the believer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gave us glad tidings. That if you live this life in obedience and prepare for the next one, which is everlasting, that is the real life. That is the beginning of our life. That's where we will be forever. This is why He sent us in this world, to put us through a test. So we realize, no matter old, no matter young, no matter who it is. A couple of days I was reading, listening to the news. There were few earthquake, shocks were felt in New Jersey. We sleep. It was during the night. This is what happens. If He wishes, whatever He ordains for, people are sleeping, they're resting, and this is what He says. We will be about our things, our life, enjoying our life, and all of a sudden, when that last hour comes, all of us will be, running confused. What's going on? But the life of a believer is that he or she is forever ready for that particular moment. And we keep that forefront. And if we have that forefront, then we know that from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we came, and to Him is our return. It's just not something that we say from the tongue. It is something that we mean. It is something, a statement that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us that we should always remember and keep forefront. It is to happen. All of us, each and every one of us. So it is not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes or dislikes anybody. He puts us through tests. So the people who are suffering right now, it is a test for the one who are not in that situation. What we do, how we help, how we step up. It is not that when we look at the Muslim countries or anything, that they are less blessed or anything because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Na'udhu billah, He provides for everybody. He's the Khaliq, He's the creator, He's the sustainer. He takes care of the one who denies Him. So if you say La ilaha illallah, why would He not take care of you? But it is us, when we turn to others rather than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we ask from others rather than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when our intentions are to please others rather than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when our intentions are not pure for His sake, when we look the other way, okay, not my problem. These people are through these kind of things always. So my brothers and sisters, whenever these kind of things happen, no matter where they are in the world, no matter it is Palestine, no matter it's China, no matter it's India, no, it's Pakistan, the whoever says La ilaha illallah, we are one body. We should be ready to help. It was a heartwarming thing the other day. I saw the ex-prime minister, he did a telethon. For an hour or 2 hours, I think, I catch the last moments of it. He was able to raise $2.5 million from an international telethon within our 2 hours. That's 5 Arab rupees. It's a lot of money. They need a lot of help. They need $10 billion according to the estimates they have. But every little thing helps. And that was a lot within an hour. Why? Because people believed him. People knew that he is an honest man. So they were willing to give. And there were people having problems to get to him, to pay. We want to help. This is who we are. This is being a Muslim community. This is being a Muslim society. When we see our brothers and sisters in trouble, each and every one of us step up. What we need is a leader, and each and every one is a leader. Of us is a leader. We cannot look towards the other. Ask not them what they can do for us. Ask them what we can do for them. When we are building a masjid, we cannot say, ask not what the masjid can do for you. Ask what you can do for the masjid or any institution or for any effort, because it is our responsibility. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we step up in every way, shape, and form possible within our distress. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu atiullah wa atiur rasul wa ulil amri minkum. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullahi li wa lakum. Alhamdulillah hamdan kaseeran kama amra wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna sayyidina Muhammadin abduhu wa rasuluhu. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, fa ya ibadallah ittaqullah fima amra wa antahu amma nahakum anhu wa zajara. We ask of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let us continue all our efforts and rectify our shortcomings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the resilience of faith that will enable us to endure all the trials of this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always guide us towards the path of goodness that pleases Him, and at the same time place us among His servants who are successful in this world and in the hereafter. Ameen. O Allah, the most merciful, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, we beg you with your vast mercy, we ask for your guidance so that we'll always remember you and be grateful to you for all of the favors you have given us. Grant us all and all the Muslims wellness and safety. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, change our condition from fear to peace, from poverty to wealth, from humiliation to glory, from difficulty to ease, from hardship to relief, from rejected prayer to answered prayers, from illness to health, from your wrath to your pleasure, from negligence to eagerness for worship. O Allah, help us become those who strive for all that is good for the sake of increasing our sense of piety towards you and only hoping for your pleasure. Ameen. ربنا آمين. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم ادفع عنا بلاء والوباء وزلازل والمحن وما ظهر منها وما بطن عن بلدنا خاصة وسائر البلدان عامة يا رب العالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقيموا الصلاة.
In the office, there's a room there. Please fill up every space so the office space, so everyone can come forward also. Just right after the fire, inshallah, we have 2 minutes, 2 minutes. We just want to give all these trophies to the table tennis winners, inshallah. Please, for 3 minutes or so, inshallah, we'll do that right after the fire, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah, hayya ala falah. Qad qamatis salah, qad qamatis salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah. Please make lines straight, feet to feet, shoulder to shoulder, leave no gaps. And brothers have put down lines for you. Please keep your heels on the lines to keep your lines straight, inshallah. Staw. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. والتين والزيتون والطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله. السلام عليكم. حيانا ربنا بالسلامة.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We would like to thank our Khatib, Brother Tajmul Awan, for wonderful khutbah. Alhamdulillah. Let's get Brother Farman up front here, inshallah, to help out with this trophy. In the meantime, I'll just quickly say that our young sisters are having a big sale up front by the parking lot entrance. Please support them. They're raising funds for the programs and stuff like that, inshallah. Also, the weekend school is starting September 5th, 5 to 6 p.m., inshallah. That's the weekday school, sorry. The weekday school, 5 to 6 p.m. And then we have the Sunday school starting September 4th, Sunday, September 4th. And that's from 9:30 to 1, inshallah. Also, on the 9th of September, we have the family night right after Salat al-Maghrib, 7:45, inshallah. We move on to the trophies, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. So before we go into the table tennis awards, I want to recognize two volunteers from our youth volleyball event that we had a couple of weeks ago. So yes, so the volunteers for the volleyball tournament will start with Brother Tasi to come up and receive his medal. Just the medal. Just the medal. Your table tennis. The second brother we would like to recognize for Brother Hassan Ahmed. All right, inshallah, congratulations. All right, let's move on to table tennis event that we had on August 18. Before I go into the awards, we'd like to recognize Brother Amjad for leading the effort. With your continued support, inshallah, we'll have many more events, inshallah. So let's go to runners up. Can we have Brother Hasib Bangash come up and receive his award? Takbir. Congratulations, brother. All right, last but not least, the winner of our table tennis tournament, I would like to invite Brother Rajai to come up and receive his award. Takbir. Congratulations, brother. Thank you, Brother Shamim, for sponsoring. Inshallah, we will continue to have such events in the future also. And we'll inshallah continue to support our youth. And I would really like to encourage all of you guys to come up and involve your kids, inshallah.
Takbir. 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 Yes, and alhamdulillah, Brother Farman has been spearheading is the lead of the sport department, and Brother Amjad is the tennis lead, inshallah. We also would like to have more volunteers, whoever can make a difference, do anything, please come up and see Brother Nazir. He is the lead in volunteerism, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah for everyone. Assalamu alaikum.